Ciao everyone from Italy. I'm Dhrumil from India. So let's get started. So today's topic is develop your first Flutter app for mobile, web, and desktop. This is about me. I'm Dhrumil Shah, the Flutter GDE and the Dart GDE as well. Currently, I'm working as in company called HighLevel. I'm also a GDG Ahmedabad community organizer and one of the creator of Flutter Flakes. One more thing, apart from all this, I'm a lazy developer. Yes, just like everyone. Why? Let's see. So, lazy plus productive developer. So, the whole my focus is to solve a problem in minimum time and deliver it to the user as soon as possible. So, that's how I define myself. And to fulfill my objective, I always look for technology which reduces my dev time and build the solution quickly. So it's totally main focus is how I can just find the problem, solve it, and deliver it to my customers or users. So let me just start from the beginning. So back in 2011 and 12, in the India, the smartphones become a kind of new excitement towards the people. Everyone have the smartphone and they want to operate every each and every their operations from their mobile phone. So I thought, let's just learn this mobile app development and let's solve people's problem. So I learned Android app development back then, and I started developing an application and solving the problems for the users. After a few years, the iPhone gets started buzzing in the my locality and the India ecosystem. So people start buying the iPhone app. They were like, they are using the different application, and they all requested the almost same application for the iPhone as well. Also, all the customers and my manager also started, asking me, "Hey, Dhrumil, can we just build an Android app which looks like same as an iOS, or can we build the iOS app which looks like Android?" And I'm like, "Wow, now this is the new challenge that I need to solve it." So then I need to find some technology that how I can actually write a code which can work on both the platform. So I started exploring the different cross-platform applications which are available in the market. Some of them are like Cordova, PhoneGap, React Native. These technologies are also quite good, and it helps actually you to build cross-platform mobile applications. Now, here the catch is, so the most common thing from this framework is the JavaScript. And my background was Android. And in Android, at that time, we were using the Java. So Java was an object-oriented programming language, whether the JavaScript is a functional programming language. Now, for a person who is coming from the object-oriented to functional programming, it's a bit difficult or a quite challenging onboarding call. Apart from that, Java was strictly typed language where JavaScript wasn't. JavaScript is an interpreter language again. So anything goes wrong, you can just come to know in the runtime only. So this was the challenging that I was facing. And just because of that, I was not able to cope up with my objective. Let me just give an example. So what was the problem that I was mentioning here with these frameworks? So this is a very common problem with the JavaScript. So that's how it happens. If you type 2 plus 2, it gives 4. If you type 2 plus 2 in string, it gives 22. That's again unstable. But if you type 2 plus 2 minus 2, it gives 2. And at the end, if you type string 2 plus 2 minus string 2, it gives 20. So you can never know that what is happening until and unless you have that much of expertise inside it. And for that, you have to learn more. And for that thing, you have to give more time, more debugging, and at the end, you are not able to go out in the market with your solution to the customer. So my whole objective of learning this cross-platform was to go into the market and to solve a problem for the users who are using the multiple platform. And I should not be worried about on which platform my user is on. my focus is I just want to solve a problem whether a user is on Android or iOS, right? So just because of this problem, I was like very frustrated. I was now looking for something new, and I started looking for new platform and new frameworks, which actually helps me to solve my problem. And in December 2018, Google announced Flutter. They announced the 1.0, the stable version, in the December 2018. But before that, I have already started exploring the Flutter. And as soon as I started exploring the Flutter, it was like quite easy for me to jump on, because my background was totally object oriented. And when I jumped on a Flutter, Flutter is also an object oriented thing. So it was for easy for me. So I decided to acquire Flutter as my next career choice. Why? Let me just give an example of what Google says. So Google says that Flutter is Google's UI toolkit for building beautiful, natively compiled application for mobile, web, and desktop from a single code base. Isn't it so amazing that you just have to write a code for one and you can have your app on all this platform available, right? So that was my reaction when I read this line, like a single code base. I was totally surprised. And then I started exploring the Flutter. So in Flutter, whatever thing that we see on the screen by writing a code is everything is a widget. So a widget can be a structure animal like a button or a menu. It can be a design element like a font or color, or it can be a layout element like margin or padding. So in Flutter, if you want to learn, you just have to worry about your widgets, nothing else. So if we talk about the different frameworks available in the market, you have to learn many things. Like for the designing, you have to learn like HTML, CSS. If you are the native programming, if you are doing the native coding, sorry. So you have to learn the XML layout, and then you can build the UI, and then you have to map those UI to the code. Whether in Flutter, everything is a widget. So the learning curve is quite simple. So, and even apart from this, your whole app is itself a Flutter widget. Yes. So see, you can see the main is a main function which runs the app. Here is a method run app, and here I'm running my app. And here we can see the my app is extending a stateless widget. So even your app is a widget. That means there is an n number of like imagination you can build with the Flutter, right? And that's why now I'm in love with the Flutter. Yeah. So one of the speaker in somewhere in the previous talk told that never trust the speaker. Ask them to show the code. So let me show you that how exactly the Flutter works. Let's build the app. Are you guys ready with me? Awesome. So this is my VS Code editor. This is my Android simulator. I have already written some of the code. I will type the code and I will explain what it does. So here we have the main method. In the main method, we have run app method. And the run app method, as we can see, it accepts the widgets. Okay, so I have created one simple stateless widget, which is the my app, and passing it. Now, stateless widget is a kind of a widget which doesn't know anything. So whatever you pass, it just simply renders on the screen. There are different types of widgets available in the Flutter. I'll tell you as we move forward. So here I have created one simple widget which returns the container. Now container have nothing, that's why it is showing the blank screen. If I put the color inside a container, so I need to go inside the container. I'll simply write color. And here pass colors dot red. And I'll simply save it. Let's see what happens. Okay. And now we have the red color here. Awesome. So this is how it works. Let's just build an app. So for that, I will create a one widget called as a home page. So I will write another stateless widget to the home page. And here I'll simply create my material app because I want the UI should look like an Android app. So I'll create the material app. In the material app, there is one parameter called home. And here I'll simply pass my home page, which will create it. I'll simply press save. And we got the blank output because again, I have a blank container. Now we want to create a simple application which has a top bar, and in the body we have some text. So for that, Flutter provides from an inbuilt a scaffold widget. So scaffolding means a basic structure which you can have it. So as soon as I'll start write scaffold, save it, and we get a white blank output. Now we need a top bar. So again, Flutter has an app bar property and ready-made app bar widget. And boom, we have an app bar. In the app bar, if I want to give a title, I can give title. Title accepts the widgets. I can type Droidcon Italy 2020. And we have this. Exciting, right? Just within a 25 line of code, we are able to get the app up and running. So let me just create a body of this app. So in the body, let me just put in the center the hello world. So here I will type center. Center is again a widget. And in the text, I'll type hello world. And we have the hello world. I know this is not readable. Let me just make the font better and bigger. In the text, we can give a style. Here, I just need to pass text style as a style parameter. And in the text style, I can pass font size. Let me just make it 20. Okay, let me just make it to 40. That's it. As simple as that. You just have to write what you want in the Flutter and it will just come in the screen. Let's just create a basic simple app of a kind of a list view, which is like almost difficult in any framework to build. So what we'll do, we'll simply remove this. We'll simply comment this body code. And we'll write the new body. We'll write list view, list view.builder. So we have a list view and it has a builder constructor. In constructor, it has item builder. Now in item builder, it provides a callback with two parameters. So the first parameter is the context and the second parameter is index. Now here we have to return one container. Let's example. Again, we return our text and here we say hello index. As we know, index starts with the 0. We will simply do +1. And we can see we got n number of list view on the right hand side. But again, the font issue, let me just make it a bigger. It's a font size style and font size. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, it should be text style. Yes. Text style. And here we will pass font size. If I pass font size is equal to again 40, we can see a big number. It is infinite scrolling. If I want to control it, I just simply need to tell list view, hey list view, your item count should be 20. And my list view is controlled to the 20. Simple, neat, clean. Still, I want to make it more visibly good. We have a ready-made widget called list style. So I'll simply delete this and we have the list style widget. List style, we have a title. And in the title, I'll simply pass hello. Again, index. Now I'm not passing the 0 or +1. So here you can see that it got automatically its own style because list style is a widget which has its own style. And here we can add subtitle just for the description purpose. So we have description, hello, of index. Wow, we got it. Now I just want to change the color of it, the whole app. So I'll simply go in the material app, I'll change the theme. So here in the theme, I'll simply pass theme data. In the primary color, simply pass colors dot amber. I simply save it, and we got the color. Awesome. Let's just make it purple. Isn't it cool that just within like 35 line of code, we are able to up and running a normal list view kind of app? Like, it's pretty amazing. And it is actually solving a problem that you can go faster and build the stuff the way we have seen this. So that's how the Flutter builds mobile apps in record time. We have almost able to develop an application within like 5 minutes, right? If we take the explanation time out, is I guess the 5 minutes is also a maximum time, right? So that's how a Flutter excites me, and that's why I'm in love with the Flutter. So now the main topic, let's update the app for web and desktop. How we can run the same application for the web and the desktop as well. Let's see. Just a question. Currently, the Flutter is evolving. As I said, in 2018, the Flutter announced 1.0 version. So currently, the web support is in beta and desktop support is in alpha. So if you're planning to build something using Flutter for your web application, desktop application, please keep this in mind so that you know that which thing is currently supporting and which thing are under development. So you don't fall into the tech debt. So let's just do it. So what we need to do to add the support? Simply switch the Flutter developer channel. So what does it mean? So whenever you download Flutter SDK, it has the different channels. So initially by default, it comes with this stable channel where everything works smoothly. So if you want to explore something, the new feature of something, you will change the channel. So here, as we discussed, desktop is in alpha and web in beta. So we will directly jump to the alpha and we'll add the support for web and desktop. So for that, what we need to do, we need to type Flutter channel into the terminal and Flutter upgrade. Let's do it. So here I will open my terminal. I hope it is visible. So I'll simply type Flutter channel, and here I will type dev. So it will switch the channel from stable to dev. And now I need to upgrade it. So we will type Flutter upgrade. So it will take some time. Meanwhile, it gets downloaded. Let's just discuss further. So what the next step is. So now, once we have changed the channel from stable to dev, we need to tell as Flutter SDK, hey, can you just please enable the web and desktop support? So for that, we need to tell the Flutter, hey, Flutter, there is a configuration. I want to enable the Flutter so that I can use the feature into my app, right? So for that, here is the command. To enable the web, we have to type Flutter config -- enable -web. And for the desktop, we have mainly three kind of desktop support, and the OS is available in the market, which are Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. So to enable the Windows in the Flutter SDK, you need to type Flutter config -- enable -Windows desktop. Same for the Mac OS and same for the Linux. Let's just check. Okay, this has been downloaded. Let's just wait for a minute till it responds. That is currently building. Okay, yes, it's done. And now what we have to do is we'll simply type Flutter config enable web. Now before doing that, I want to walk you through to the folder structure. So I hope now you are able to see the folder structure. So when you create your Flutter app, it comes with this basic folder structure. So as we discussed, for the stable channel, it comes with the Android and iOS folder. So that whatever code you write, it supports Android and iOS by default. And whatever code we write, the code comes into the lib folder, right? This one. And the other are the supporting folders that we don't need to discuss as of now. Okay, so now I'll simply write Flutter config -- enable -web. Now I'm telling the Flutter, hey Flutter, just please enable in the Flutter SDK. Okay. Okay, it's saying that you may need to restart any open editor for them to read the new settings. Okay, we will restart our editor soon. Let me just enable the desktop as well. So config dash enable. Currently I'm running on the Mac OS, but still let me just enable all. So it's like Windows desktop. Again, I will do Mac OS desktop. Same for the Linux. So it's done. Now what we'll do, we'll simply restart this. Okay, now we have restarted it. Okay, that is done. Let me just and start the application so that once it's started, we know that it will run. Okay, that will do later. So these are the things that we have done. Now what we need to do is, now we need to actually upgrade our project. Hey, our project was actually built for the Android and iOS. Now I want to enable it for web and desktop. What I need to do, simply just go to that project and type flutter create dot. So currently I'm inside that project. I just need to type flutter create dot. And let's see what is happening. So as you can see here, we have some more folders waiting for us. Okay. So now we have web folder, we have Windows folder, we have Mac OS folder. And let's see what are the devices are available for us to run the application. So no, let me just run it from here only. So we will type flutter devices and it will show us all the devices on which we can run the application. As we can see, we have emulator, 5554, Mac OS, web server, and Chrome. Currently, I'm running the Mac operating system. That's why it is just showing the Mac OS. If I'm running or developing the project on Windows, it will show the Windows. Right? Awesome. Simple, right? Quite simple. Trust me. And now to run the app, what we need to do, just simple type this command. For web, we need to type flutter run -d Chrome. And for Mac OS, we'll type flutter run -d Mac OS. Let's try. Awesome. Flutter run -d Chrome. And let's wait when this gets started running. So as we can see, it says launching main.dart file in Chrome in debug mode. It's syncing the files, some of the files. And once the files will be synced, it will open up a web browser and it will show us that how the app is going to run. And whatever the code that we have written here, we can see, yes, our app is started and it's running. Yes, it is a web browser. It's my browser. Let's just go to the inspect element. Let's see. Yes, we can see this, right? Amazing, isn't it? I haven't changed a single line of code in the previous code and it's still running beautifully. Okay, let's just try to run for the Mac OS. Let me just kill this by pressing Q. I'll run flutter run the Mac OS. Now it will build for the Mac OS and it will open as in the desktop window. And then we can play with that app as well. So now, as it says, it's launching main.dart on Mac OS in debug mode and is building Mac OS application. So this how this things works. It's like pretty amazing and pretty cool. And that's why the people are, getting into the love with the Flutter. So it's saying some error that Dhrumil's iPhone is not available. I know my iPhone is not connected. We need to build the Mac OS application. Yep, go for it. Yeah, now we got the Mac OS application. As you can see, the minimize button, the maximize button, and the thing like that. Awesome, right? Are you excited like me? Right? We have seen all this in action, right? Cool. So how exactly the Flutter is able to provide support for mobile, web, and desktop from a single code base? I mean, what is that the magical thing is happening under the hood, which is just giving you the support for to run on any devices, right? Let me just build it for mobile as well. So Flutter run D. Let me just check what are the devices available first, so that I don't misspell it. Yeah, and here comes the Flutter run D and emulator. I hope I typed correctly. Yes, emulator dash 5554. And okay, so it will download some of the tools for my mobile app because we have changed the channel from stable to the dev. And now after downloading it, it will simply run and build it on the mobile app. Meanwhile it runs, let's just discuss this. So how Flutter is able to provide such support? Don't tell anyone, this is a secret. Okay, but don't worry, I'm going to reveal the secret as of now. So this is the whole architecture of the Flutter SDK. So this architecture is being developed in such a way that all the layers, like the framework layers, the engine layer, the embedded layer, are not dependent on each other. Just like totally independent layer. So whatever things happens in the framework layer, it is not dependent on the engine. It can directly pass to the engine. So you can actually replace this engine layer to anything else, which actually supports the framework and the embedded layer. And that's the beauty of the Flutter SDK. So what happens here? So whatever the code that we have written, it's come from the material library. So this material library is extends from the widgets. The rendering layer, I'm sorry. So the rendering layer is actually responsible to render whatever you written the code on the screen, like whatever the refresh rate and everything. The animation, painting, and gestures are the layer to maintain how the painting will done. What are the colors that will be put it on that? Gesture layer is responsible how a user is interacting with their app, whether it's flinging or swiping or like pinch to zoom, tap, double tap. Everything is been managed by the gesture layer, and the foundation is the core layer, which has some of the core thing like to provide the UI size and everything. So this is how the framework layers works. Beneath that, we have the engine, the Skia engine, which is written in C and C++. So this engine actually are capable of to provide everything and to render everything on the OS layer. So whatever the things we got from the OS, for example, our mobile application is running on Android or iOS or web or desktop. So whatever the supported things are available, Flutter engine will get the canvas from that OS, the canvas layer, and that canvas layer is being managed by the engine C plus engine, which is written in C and C++. So it has the responsibility of service protocols, the data isolate setups, the frame scheduling, the frame pipeline, that what will come next and how the refresh will look, refresh rate will work. So this is the core part of the Flutter SDK. And next is the embedder. Embedder is the responsible to give the support to the Skia engine or the Flutter engine of the particular OS. Let me just explain you in the next slide, which is much more clear, and where we can see how the web and the desktop is working for that embedded layer. So as you can see, the first framework layer is common, and in the engine, the Skia dart and text. This is for the mobile. So what happens? This embedder will give the mobile canvas to the Flutter SDK, and the Flutter SDK will use the engine and the Dart language to run the whole Flutter application that we have just seen. So this architecture is for mobile. Next, for the web. On the web, we don't have a canvas. We have a DOM object. We have a browser, right? So from the browser, we need the browser canvas and the DOM object. So the role of embedder is to provide the canvas and the DOM object compatibility to the Flutter SDK. And then Flutter SDK actually utilize that and run on the screen that whatever we have written. So that's how the whole Flutter ecosystem, or the Flutter SDK's ecosystem works. and support each other. And that's the magic behind the support of mobile, web, and desktop of a Flutter from a single code base. Right. So now the bonus time. Yeah. So what we'll do, we'll update the app UI to support platform specific stuff. So for example, as we can see on the mobile, we have a small screen. So that's why we have a list view. But as we have seen on the web or desktop, we have a bigger screen. So that should be kind of a grid view kind of thing, right? So let's do that. So how we will do that? So we should have something here which can support that particular thing that currently I'm running on the mobile or I'm running on the web. Okay, so Flutter provides one constant which says whether it's a web or mobile. Okay, so here it is. So currently is our app is running on web or mobile. So we'll just simply check for the web. If it is a web, we will simply pass a normal center in the child text for web. Here we'll simply say. So now currently our app is running on the mobile, so that's why it will return the list view. But let's just run on the web. What happens? Let's just check. So I'm just keeping the app running here so that we can check. So now I will run Flutter run -d Chrome. Let's see what happens. It should show the text in the center with the web. Okay, let's just wait till it's seeing the files on the web and run the application. Now it is building. So once it is done, we will be able to see the from web text on the center of the screen. Now it's running. Yes, we are able to see for web and this. Now, what for the desktop? How we can do that? Let's check. A is desktop, is Mac OS. No, we don't have anything. Why? Because both the things almost are similar. So how we can differentiate it? We can differentiate with the size and the length of it. Let's do it. So here, what we'll do, we will now change this web thing for the grid view. So here I will write, not a list view, I will write a grid view, just to save the time as we have limited time. So what we'll do, I have already written a code for the grid view. I'll simply copy this and I'll paste it here. Okay, it's a grid view. And let's see what is happening here. We just need to restart it. And we can see a grid view with the 3 columns, right? Awesome. Let's run this app for the desktop. What happens? Let's just. So we'll write Mac OS. So what should be done? Should it show the list view or a grid view? What do you think, guys? I think it should show the list view because we haven't managed it. We are just managing whether it's a web, show the grid view. If it's a desktop, show the list view. So it's a Mac, so it should be showing the list view. Correct, right? So that's how it works. Simple, incredible, and super easy to manage the applications for the different platforms, right? So that's how these things works. I hope you enjoyed this talk. So let me just summarize how this talk has been done. So we understood how Flutter is effective and how it paints beautiful UI in the record time. We develop a list view in the app within like less than 5 minutes. Correct. We enable the Flutter and desktop from the installed Flutter SDK. We just changed the channel and we enabled the web and the desktop support. Then we updated our app to support web and desktop from the mobile app. and we successfully updated the UI depends on the platform, right? So that's me. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I'm Dhrumil Shah, the Flutter GDE, Senior Mobile Application Developer at HighLevel, co-organizer of GDG Ahmedabad, and creator of Flutter Flex. Thank you.